It's really easy to say now is not the right time to start a series about personal development when I literally, even talking right now, want to cry. But I think that's also why now is the exact right time to talk about how we care for ourselves and how we build ourselves up, because I need that. Hello and welcome to my living room. My name is Annette Budding Fuentes, and you are watching Annette Smiles. Thank you for being here. This is the first of a series diving into and exploring what it is that we do to build ourselves up. A lot of the work that I do in coaching is around your vision and building your vision. But in order for us to dream big and create these things that we care about, we have to start with this really strong foundation of taking care of ourselves. And sometimes taking care of ourselves, although simple, can be really hard. So that's where I wanted to start with. And for a lot of reasons, right now is not the right time to start. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling just really heavy lately. And I'm not talking about my weight. I'm talking just like emotionally heavy. I'm also not talking about what's happening in the world, because that's a whole other level that I can't even begin to, I don't have the capacity for. I'm talking about heavy, like internally, emotionally affected by so many things happening, not only in my life, but mostly in the lives of the people that I love and care about. And by wanting to be there for people and support the people that I care about, it's been harder to take care of me. I think especially this last couple months. And I keep telling myself, after this happens, it'll get better. There's all of these milestones on the calendar. And especially after the memorial, which was a week ago, I have just felt heavy. That's the only word that comes to mind. And for that reason, I think it's really easy to say now is not the right time to start a series about personal development when I literally, even talking right now, want to cry. But I think that's also why now is the exact right time to talk about how we care for ourselves and how we build ourselves up, because I need that. I need that for myself. And I always had this vision, this idea of sharing the process, sharing when it's messy, sharing when it's hard. And right now it's hard. Right now I need to do the work. So my goal and my idea for this series is to share the process of doing the work, and not coming from this perspective of teacher, trainer, coach, even coming from a perspective of this is what I'm going through and this is what's helping me. And if it's helping me, maybe it helps you. And honestly, maybe it'll help future me because part of what helped me was watching some of my old videos and watching them and realizing, wow, these are really good. If I do say so myself, these are really good. Yet, for some reason, I gave up on myself and on this idea of creating value in the world. And part of it's probably because, life gets busy and priorities change. But if I'm honest with myself, part of it is the vanity metrics of who's watching it, who cares. And looking back, there's one in particular that I really enjoyed. I found it really helpful. And it had 100 views. And I almost even said it had just 100 views. And granted, I don't know if people watched the whole thing, but let's say half of them didn't. Let's say it has 50 people who watched this video. If I was in a room right now with 50 people who are listening to me share, I would be so excited. And I don't want numbers to be something that drives my desire to share or not share. And I'm saying this out loud, honestly, just like a reminder for myself. Because again, even if it's just future me that benefits, then that's great. And hopefully a person or two also benefit. So if there is anything that I share that is meaningful to you, feel free to comment, because I read a couple comments on, I think it was that video that had 100 views that were like, hey, I'm cheering you on. And I read it and I was like, oh, I let this person down because I posted that and then never posted anything else. That's why we're here. And why now? I feel like that's an important question to ask ourselves. It's a question that I ask when I'm coaching. Why now? Why in this moment? And I think part of it for me is realizing, especially just the last few days, I have been, I lovingly call myself a potato when I'm just feeling like I'm in a slump. And I get these kind of phases sometimes where I just don't do any of the things that I love. So for me, the why now is because a few things. I long term can't live in this energy that I'm creating for myself. Also, I think recently, having a family member pass away and putting together the memorial and hearing people share stories, I'm just reminded how important it is to me to create a space for my own stories, but also for other people's stories. That's why I recorded the first episode of the podcast, the series that I'm doing with other people talking about vision. So that's something I'm really excited for. And the other why now for me is because if I don't do it now, I have this feeling that I'm never going to. And that makes me really sad. It's one of those like big life things that if I would look back at my life with regret if I'm, 50 years old and I never created that series or created that space that I wanted to. Oh, and the last one I was going to say, why now is because I have external accountability. External accountability is a really great tool for getting stuff done that we want to do. Because once we talk to someone else about it, then it becomes real. Now there's another person who's relying on us or who might ask us about it. And one of my partner's friends missed his flight through Minneapolis, and we got to hang out. And I'm so, so grateful because the last time I saw him when I was in New York, we talked about creating videos and, sharing our visions and all these things. And we're both like, how's that going? And we're both like, haven't done it. So we decided and agreed that we're both going to create something. And I love having that external accountability because now I have a deadline. Now I have someone to cheer on and who's cheering me on. Is good motivation. So that's also why now, because I told a friend that I would, and I'm not a liar. What else? I guess for the intro, it's important to kind of know where are we starting. Let me get comfortable for this. When I'm coaching someone else through something, I usually have people start with identifying where they're at right now. Like, let's paint a picture with what's going on in life and be as brutally honest as you can. Because if we sugarcoat the way that we talk about our lives right now, then in the future, when we make a really big leap, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal because we sugarcoated our starting point. So, as hard as it is, as uncomfortable as it might be, it's important for us to capture and describe in detail where we're at. Now, a lot of what's going on in my life is personal, not just to me, but to other people. So I'm not going to share the details, but I think there's definitely parts of where I'm at that I would like to share and capture mostly for myself and to let people know that we're not alone in our struggles. I guess the most recent thing that I can share is that a family member passed away about almost a month ago. And it was sudden, and it was his choice. And there's a lot of, just like as a family, a lot of things that we, try to unpack and try to navigate and work through. A big reminder for me too is just how important it is to check in with people, make sure that the people we love know that we love them and know that they are loved. Another piece that I'm not going to go into the specifics of, but I have multiple family members dealing with some more serious health concerns, and seeing them suffer as like an empathetic person makes me suffer. Like it's just really hard to watch someone go through something and not be able to fix it. Um, and I think what I can also maybe go into more specifics about is just being really honest about how or like what ways I'm not taking care of me. My goal for this year was there's two focuses, my financial health and my physical health. And my word for the year is self-discipline. Let me tell you, in the last month or two, I think January, February, March, April, I think I fell off in April. I was really good about doing my journal every day, tracking my workouts and being really intentional for like 3.5 months, which honestly for me is really good. But sometime in April when I was traveling a lot, I kind of started to fall off. And then when my family member passed away May 1st, then I just completely stopped. So I stopped going to the gym. I stopped eating healthy. I just kind of isolated a little bit more. I will say that I haven't completely gone off the deep end, and like I used to buy like cookie dough and it would be gone in a matter of days. Like it really isn't awful, but I know that I'm not being thoughtful. Um, and I use ClassPass for my gym membership, and it's like the last week of May and I hadn't used any of my credits. So that's why I got a facial. That's why my that's why my face looks like this. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I got a facial today because I got to use my credits before the end of the month. So I love ClassPass because you got to use your credits. But I also get frustrated with myself for, going this whole month with not using this thing that I pay for. So not doing my workouts, not eating great. Those are kind of indicators for me of when I'm not in a great place. And another one is also just like the consistency in which I check in. Why did I say that's like that? I know that I'm in a funk when I'm more distant from my friends. And I think sometimes it's okay to be kind of solo processing and taking care of myself. But if it gets to be too long, I know like I need to check in with my friends. I guess the last one is my physical space. What I'm like more, I want to say in control, then I keep things tidy. I am more like in just like routines of like making my bed, cleaning the kitchen, putting dishes away, like all of these like little things that add up. When I'm in a funk, I just kind of like leave everything until I have like visitors, or if like usually so my partner's traveling, that I live in a mess because I can handle it. But when my partner's home, like he deserves a clean space. That's ridiculous. But that's how my brain processes, and that's what happens when I'm in these like funks. But I deserve also to be in a clean space and to do it for myself, not for someone else. So that's another piece. So this is kind of like, I don't know, an example, I guess, of what it could sound like to check in with yourself and share. Um, I also like journaling and writing things down, but I think there is something really powerful about doing it in a video form, because when I watch this later, I'm going to be able to tell those moments that I get choked up, or when it's really hard for me to describe something because it's uncomfortable because I don't want to admit what's going on. All of those nuances you don't get when you reread something. If video talking to a camera, even if it's just for yourself, if that makes you uncomfortable and you just want to journal, that's better than nothing. But um, if you can kind of push yourself to do a video journal for yourself, you don't have to share it, although I do think there is power in sharing. Um, I think doing it for yourself is really powerful. So that to me is step one. What I shared isn't my full reflection. There's parts of it I might share someday, but it's more just for myself. So that kind of brings me to, maybe this is part two. Part one is check in with where you are, be really honest with yourself so that you can like see the growth. And then part two is like, what do we do? I want to be careful with this second part because it's easy to like overwhelm yourself, I think. Let me just explain what happened to me. um, we I took 3 days off of work last week for the memorial. The memorial was on Friday, and I kept telling myself, like once the memorial is done, I'll feel better and I'll have more like energy and capacity to like get back to these things that I've been wanting to do. And Friday goes by, Saturday goes by. Um, I didn't do a whole lot, and I kept telling myself, Monday I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna do all the things. I'm gonna do my journaling. I'm gonna clean my apartment. I'm gonna eat good food. I went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of vegetables that are still in my fridge that I have not eaten yet, but I will. I need to because I don't want to throw them away. Um, but I think the problem with that approach is that it's putting a lot of pressure on myself to wake up Monday morning and have the energy all of a sudden to do all these things that I haven't been doing for weeks. Um, so then I got more frustrated with myself, and I just like spiraled a little bit. But I did make myself do a workout class. So, what that kind of taught me or reminded me is, instead of trying to do all the things, trying to find like one or two things that kind of bring me joy and give me energy is a better place to start. So, I kind of put on my schedule the workout classes that I want to do. And then the other thing that I decided that I want to prioritize is my journaling, because there's something about starting the day and ending the day with writing my thoughts that I know for me kicks my butt. Like it forces me to be honest about my life and what's going on, and decisions that I made. Like I don't want to write that I was on my phone for an hour and a half and I don't know what I did for an hour and a half. But I'm going to, because that's what happened. And now the next day I'm not going to want to do it as much, by just focusing on those, or realizing in what yesterday that I need to focus on fewer things. I already feel like more manageable. I feel like that's the right word. Because even today I'm like, there's all these things that I want to do, but hey, I did my workout and I did my journaling, and I'm going to do my journaling later if I do nothing else. Like, I feel good. And I genuinely feel just like more energized. Even doing the facial, like, yes, it was self care, but I also had this great conversation with the facialist, with the esthetician, um, about life and her vision, and these conversations that I really love. So I think maybe a third ingredient for me is finding these like moments and opportunities to talk about things that I care about and that excite me. So I think that's, I guess, maybe my third piece of my puzzle for now, is continuing to find opportunities to talk about things that I care about. Even just right now in this moment, I feel a little bit better. I feel like I have a, a little bit of clarity for myself, but also I just feel good that now this is recorded and now I can share this. And even if it's not perfect, and even if I look back and I'm like, oh, why did I record myself, without makeup after a facial and my skin is sticky? I wonder if you can tell. Um, but this is real. This is real life. I don't want to be perfect all the time. I don't want to set that expectation for myself or for anyone else. Like, selfishly, this is helpful for me to reflect, but I also feel good because I recorded this, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. So I'm proud of me for doing it and putting it out there. And I'm proud of you if you're still listening to this, if you're still here. Thank you. This is part of my journey, is figuring out how to talk to the camera, how to organize my thoughts. But I think something about just talking through things feels really natural to me. So that's what I'm going to go with for now. I would love if there are pieces that inspire you, if there's questions that you have, please don't hesitate to comment, because even the comments from a video from like years ago, I read them and I was like, oh, cool. And I'm inspired. So I want to inspire people, and I want to be inspired by you. That's it. That's the starting place. It's okay to have bad days, and it's okay um, to workshop and try different things and see what works. Again, Monday I tried to do all the things that didn't work. So listen to yourself, and if you're still learning to listen to yourself, this is a great place to do that. We will do that together. So thank you for being on this journey with me to continue to love who we are, where we are, and the person that we're growing into.